Every 26 seconds, another home in the United States is burglarized. More than 3,000 incidents every day, whether people are sleeping, working, or just living their normal lives. Strong locks or alarm systems aren't always enough because a good kick can blow a door frame apart, and by the time the alarm sounds, the intruder is often gone. Real security isn't just detecting after it's too late, it's stopping it before it starts. The 15 devices below were chosen because they create active layers of defense, from steel barricade bars and floor-mounted bolts to sensors and security fog systems. None of these promises to make your home impregnable, but they can buy you precious seconds. Time to notice, react, and keep yourself safe. In a world where risk can show up at any moment, smart preparation remains the strongest lock. 1. Doorricade. At first glance, it just looks like a straight, neat, foldable metal bar, but this invisible wood beam is the thing that makes fast break-in scenarios fall apart. Structurally, Doorricade is made from solid marine-grade aluminum combined with stainless steel 3/16 hinges and hardware, and the recommended anchor screws are 3 inches long to bite deep into the wall studs. The operating principle is simple but extremely effective. Instead of putting all the force into the door frame, where wood can split and the frame can crack, Doorricade transfers force directly into the load-bearing wall structure. Manufacturers and independent testers usually report actual holding numbers around 1,950 to 2,000 pounds when installed according to instructions. That's nearly 2,000 pounds of compressive force before the system fails. That figure turns a kick ram into something impossible for most opportunistic burglars without professional tools. I put Doorricade on the 13 home defense gadgets that could save your life list because my selection rule is always, if it can extend time and complicate an attack long enough for people inside to escape, call for help or push the attacker away. The device is life-saving. Doorricade does that mechanically without relying on electricity, batteries, or network connections. When night falls and you hear pounding at the door, a properly fitted metal bar will make every forced entry attempt meaningless. That's the simple but decisive reason I consider it a heavyweight in physical defense. Doorricade's advantage comes from simplicity. Durable materials, relatively easy installation, instant effectiveness, no complicated maintenance, and a moderate one-time cost. Typically, you measure the door width and add 2 inches to choose the bar length. For example, a 36-inch door usually uses a 38-inch bar, so the bar spans both jambs. Retail prices for common residential models run about $90 to $130, depending on size and finish. Compared to replacing the frame with steel or installing a full security door system, Doorricade is a cost-effective solution for many households. But every tool has limits. Doorricade only works with inward swinging doors. If your door swings outward or is a sliding type, this solution is useless. Its effectiveness depends entirely on screwing into a real stud. If you have thin walls, hollow walls without studs in the right spot, or the installer screws only into the surface and not the stud, holding power drops dramatically. Also, it's a passive defense. It doesn't sound an alarm or call anyone, it just buys time and makes break-ins harder. And importantly, people inside must remember to engage it. If everyone forgets, this defense is useless when you need it most. In practice, many homeowners report a noticeable increase in their sense of security after installation. Not because the bar makes them arrogant, but because they know that if the worst happens, there's a reliable physical method to keep the door from popping open. If you want a hard, immediate, technology-free, tested forces solution, Doorricade is a sensible starting point. For fuller coverage, pair it with other layers, door sensors, cameras, alarm systems, but remember nothing replaces proper force distribution. A single aluminum bar, a few 3-inch screws into studs, and a door that's hard to break. Sometimes those simple things are what save you. 2. AceMining Portable Door Lock. Pocket lock for rentals and hotels. You're not always in your fortress. Sometimes you're in a new rented room, a last-minute homestay, or checking into a hotel at midnight. In those situations, AceMining is like a seatbelt. Small, cheap, and it adds an extra layer of reassurance from the inside. The device consists of a rigid metal plate and a locking pin and works with most inward swinging doors that have a standard latch. Once installed, the door's travel is blocked at the latch mouth. Spare keys or key cards outside won't push the door open because the force is neutralized right at the edge of the jamb. No drilling, no trace. Pocket-sized, backpack-friendly. I included AceMining not because it's impregnable, but because it fills a very real everyday gap. The moment you're in unfamiliar space and want an extra layer you control. Traveling for work, staying in a dorm, getting in late, installing this adds a few precious minutes to observe, call for help, or simply sleep with more peace of mind. It doesn't replace a good door or lock, but it's the right coverage at the right time. For renters, students in dorms, people who move a lot, or parents wanting extra safety for kids living away from home, its active value is hard to quantify. Its biggest plus is portability. 60 to 100 grams, palm-sized, install, remove in seconds with no tools. It doesn't rely on batteries, apps, or Wi-Fi, so there's no dead zone. Typical price is about $15 to $20, a trivial cost for something that can live in your suitcase. Many users keep one beside the bed as a habit, like buckling a seatbelt before driving. Of course, AceMining has limits. It only works with inward swinging doors that have a compatible latch. Some mortise locks, doors with too small or too large gap, sliding doors, or outward swinging doors won't work. It's an internal reinforcement, not structural strengthening. It creates delay and psychological barrier more than the brute force holding power of Doorricade. Install it wrong and it can make the door hard to open, so practice gently at first. And because you must be inside to engage it, it's not a solution for an empty house. If you build a fortress at home, AceMining is the handheld shield you carry everywhere else. Small, quiet, but ready when you need that extra bit of reassurance. 3. Boss Security Screens. Invisible steel mesh for windows and doors. Not every threat comes from a kicked-in door. Sometimes intruders exploit quieter weak points. Windows, back doors, or doors with glass. That's where Boss Security Screens shine, a stainless steel mesh stretched over a reinforced aluminum frame, looking like a premium insect screen but acting as a kinetic barrier. From outside, it's almost invisible. From inside, you still get breeze, light, and an open view. Multi-point locking and tamper-resistant screws make crowbars, screwdrivers, or breaking glass much noisier and time-consuming. I included Boss Security Screens because they solve the worry of wanting to leave windows open while staying safe. Ventilation, pets, watching children, without turning your home into a sealed box. For ground floor dwellings, row houses, or areas with risk of entry through windows, this is a silent, always-on barrier. Unlike portable locks like AceMining, useful only when you're inside, security screens are permanent. You don't have to remember to engage them, they don't need power or apps, they're there every day. The standout is the balance between security and convenience. The frame fits into the existing opening based on measurements. The woven steel mesh resists cutting and prying while allowing airflow. Stainless faces and powder-coated finishes resist corrosion, suitable for coastal areas. For doors, you can lock the screen independently so you can open the main door for air while keeping the barrier in place. Some models offer internal egress release for quick escape, useful for bedrooms and fire escape routes. But it's not a buy-and-forget solution. Screens require professional measurement and installation to ensure frames attach to structural supports. A few millimeters off creates leverage points. The cost is significantly higher than a portable lock or bar. Each opening is custom priced based on size, frame type, hardware, and any hinge lock additions. As a mesh, it's not a substitute for fire-rated doors or safety glass. Its role is to delay, raise noise, and make intruders give up, not make them immune to heavy tools. Maintenance involves periodic cleaning so the mesh doesn't accumulate salt or grime, especially in dusty cities or coastal regions. If Doorricade is the rampart and AceMining the handheld shield, Boss Security Screens are the thin armor you wear all day. Almost forget about, until it quietly keeps your home safe whenever you want fresh air. 4. Nightlock Door Barricade, floor-mounted. Footing that turns your floor into an anchor. When you need a tidy, quick solution that's always ready behind the door, a floor-mounted Nightlock is worth considering. Its structure includes a base plate fixed to the floor and a U-shaped blocking tongue that drops down when needed. When engaged, the force of a kick or ram is transferred into the floor instead of ripping out bolts or hinges, like using your foundation as an anchor. For inward swinging doors, one action dropping the blocker leaves the door with almost no travel. Even with a key, someone outside won't be able to push the door past the floor stop. I included Nightlock because it meets the need for 1-second activation for bedrooms, front doors, or small offices. No heavy setup, no strength required, no batteries or Wi-Fi. It's especially useful at night, so you can sleep peacefully, or when you're home alone and want an instant physical barrier. In the mechanical barricade group, Nightlock ranks high on convenience to durability. The base stays put on the floor and the blocker hangs nearby. When needed, drop it down and you're secured. Pluses: simple mechanism, hard to break, low profile so it works with most door clearances, operation in seconds, suitable for older users. Thick steel, aluminum base, and long screws distribute force, giving a very solid feel. Typical price about $40 to $60 per set, much cheaper than replacing frames, and you can install in multiple locations: front door, garage entry, bedroom. Some versions come in different finishes to blend with flooring so they're nearly invisible when not engaged. Still, Nightlock has limits. You must drill into the floor. Inconvenient in rentals, on thin stone floors, or where underfloor heating exists. It's only usable from inside and mainly for inward swinging doors. Outward swinging variants require different hardware. The base can be a trip hazard if placed in a walkway, and if the door clearance is too low or too high, you may need shims or different placement. It's a kinetic blocker, not a replacement for a solid door or good hinges. Its main role is to delay entry and make breaking in noisy and tiring. Finally, remember to place it within reach in an emergency and ensure escape routes remain usable. If Doorricade is the crossbeam on the frame and AceMining the pocket lock for travel, Nightlock is the friendly footing you install once and use every day, the floor standing with you. 5. SABRE Door Stop Alarm, 120 decibels, Portable Alarm Wedge. This is the tiny sound weapon for nights in hotels, homestays, or new rental rooms. A wedge placed at the door edge with a pressure sensor. If someone tries to push the door inward, the wedge compresses and triggers a 120 decibel siren, loud enough to wake you, alert neighbors, and spook an intruder into leaving. The wedge's shape both sounds the alarm and blocks the door's travel. No drilling, no trace. Fits in a suitcase or backpack. I included the SABRE Door Stop Alarm not because it's a physical fortress, but because it buys you something rarer: time and agency. In unfamiliar spaces, a loud sound can be the difference between a stunned second and a minute to react. Turn on the light, call for help, or exit safely. It's not a substitute for strong locks or bolt devices, but it's an extremely quick wake-up plus noise layer that's ideal for travelers, dorm students, or anyone wanting a cheap but effective backup. Pluses: ultra-portable, one-step use. Place the wedge at the door, doesn't rely on Wi-Fi or apps. The 120 decibel alarm is hard to ignore. Many models also include on-off switches and anti-slip pads to brace on wood, tile, or thin carpet. Typical price around $10 to $15, a small investment to keep in your bag. It runs on batteries, often a 9-volt, check the version, easily replaceable. Limitations: only works with inward swinging doors. Outward swinging sliding doors or very high threshold gaps reduce effect. Very slippery floors or thick carpets can make the wedge slide. Test it on site to find the best placement. Because it's pressure activated, rough handling inside or slamming the door could trigger false alarms if you forget to switch it off. Ultimately, it's noise plus delay, not a heavy-duty holding bolt. Think of it as a supplemental alert alongside locks and safe habits. If Nightlock is the floor-based footing, SABRE Door Stop Alarm is the little whistle at the threshold. Small, nimble, and ready to break the silence at the right moment. 6. Haven Lock, smart floor-mounted door lock. A smart stop on the floor. Sometimes you want the mechanical strength of a Nightlock with the convenience of a smart device. Haven Lock is the brainy version of a floor blocker. A slim metal body mounted to the floor where, when activated, a thick blocking tongue lifts up flush with the door edge, turning a kick or ram into a compressive force against the floor. From outside, even with a key or knob, the door is stopped. From inside, you can engage by foot pedal via a Bluetooth app or with a remote fob, whatever fits your routine. It's not a replacement lock. It's an independent reinforcement that works with most inward swinging doors. I included Haven because it solves two problems at once: passive mechanical defense and flexible smart control. Want to lock quickly when you come home? Step on the pedal? Want to check the ground floor door while upstairs? Use the app to check status or toggle it in-home remotely or integrate it with your smart home system. For families with children or older adults, a one-touch or one-step control makes floor blocking a habit, like turning on the lights. Pluses: force transfer to the floor gives a reliable, solid feel. Thick metal body, hidden hinge, and wide base plate distribute forces well. Smart features let you check status, receive reminders to close the door, and set automation, for example, auto-engage when arriving. Installation is one-time, doesn't replace your existing lock, and allows venting. You can open the door slightly for airflow while keeping Haven engaged. Rechargeable batteries, USB, last months per charge, and if the battery dies, you can still operate manually with the foot pedal. Price commonly around $200 to $300, higher than basic mechanical bolts, but bought once for the door's lifetime. Limits: Haven only works with inward swinging doors and needs enough clearance under the door for the blocking tongue. Doors that sit flush to hard floors or uneven floors may require shims. Mounting to the floor means drilling. Not ideal for renters, thin stone floors, or underfloor heating. As an electronic device, it needs periodic charging and firmware updates. Bluetooth range is limited to in-home. If installed incorrectly, not anchored into solid substrate, effectiveness drops. And like any installed device, it doesn't protect an empty house unless you remember to engage it. If Doorricade is the horizontal rampart and Nightlock the mechanical foot, Haven Lock is the version 4.0, as durable as the floor blocker but with the convenience of smart control, so every time you close the door, you also anchor your home. 7. ViewProtect transparent security bars. Invisible bars for ventilating windows. Not everyone wants heavy metal bars on windows but still wants to open them for air. ViewProtect is the compromise. Clear polycarbonate bars with high impact resistance, fixed to the frame with tamper-resistant screws. From afar, they look like nothing is there. They're stiff enough to stop a punch, thrown object, or quick pry with a screwdriver. You still get daylight and a clean view without the prison feel of traditional steel grills. Great for townhouses, corner units, and rooms with small children where ventilation matters. I chose ViewProtect because it tackles both aesthetics and airflow. Not everyone accepts sacrificing light for safety, especially in hot, humid climates that need open windows. These invisible bars give you an always-on physical barrier you don't have to remember to engage. No power, no app, just static protection. For ground floor homes, windows facing alleys, or accessible glass areas, preventing a hand from reaching in to manipulate locks makes a big difference. Pluses: sleek look, preserves light and air. UV-stabilized polycarbonate resists cracking and handles impacts much better than ordinary glass. Custom fit to openings with spacing that prevents pets or small children from squeezing through. Hardware attaches to frame or structural substrate with tamper-proof screws and requires minimal maintenance beyond cleaning. Some configurations include quick release from inside for emergency egress, handy for bedrooms. Cost is higher than basic iron mesh but lower than full security doors, priced by opening dimensions. Limits: polycarbonate can scratch or haze over time if cleaned improperly or in salty, dusty environments. Use soft cloths and suitable cleaners. Installation must anchor into load-bearing substrate. Attachment to a weak mortar layer still allows leverage. Not a substitute for safety glass or fire-rated doors. Role is to delay and create noise, not structural reinforcement. If you want egress, choose quick release and put it within easy reach. Because it's fixed, costs rise with the number of openings. If Boss security screens are the breathable armor, ViewProtect is the crystal shield. Almost invisible in daily life, but strong enough to keep uninvited hands away. 8. Ornamental security doors and windows. When security meets wrought iron art. Not every barrier has to look heavy. Ornamental security doors and windows are solutions that combine steel barriers with decorative design, scrollwork, classic motifs, or minimalist patterns that both dress the facade and block intruders. Materials are usually solid steel or forged alloy, powder-coated for corrosion resistance, welded frames with tamper-proof hinges. This structure turns windows, doors, or balconies into artistic shields, allowing ventilation and style while staying secure. I picked ornamental security because it hits the safe but beautiful need. Many people avoid plain bars for fear of ugliness. When designs are integrated with the architecture, they become a design feature. For street-facing homes, villas, or properties on busy roads, these provide around-the-clock protection without activation. An intruder can't slip through or break in quietly. For entryways, a 2-layer setup, main door plus decorative iron door, lets you open the main door for air or conversation while retaining a physical barrier. Clear benefits are durability and personalization. You can order styles to match your taste, classic curves, modern minimalism, or regional patterns. Powder-coated finishes come in many colors and can match handles, hinges, and frames. Because materials are solid, these structures resist common hand tools. Maintenance is low, occasional repainting in humid or coastal areas. You can add multi-point locks, contact sensors, or electronic peepholes to increase proactive protection. Of course, this isn't portable. Fixed installation by professionals is required, and it needs to match the building's aesthetic. Prices vary widely by material, detail, and size, from a few hundred to several $1,000s per frame. If the design is overly dense, it can reduce light and airflow. If it prioritizes looks over material thickness, security suffers. Also plan for emergency egress on bedroom windows. If ViewProtect is the nearly invisible bars and ornamental doors are the visible shields, Prime Line Woodguard below will be the warm-faced armor. But ornamental iron proves that security and beauty don't have to be opposites. 9. Schlage Encode. Smart Wi-Fi Deadbolt, the brain lock for your front door. You're not always at home to turn the key. People drop by unexpectedly, repair workers arrive late, or you lock your keys in the car. With the Schlage Encode, your front door becomes a controlled access point. A keypad-integrated deadbolt with built-in Wi-Fi, no hub required, unlockable by PIN, app, or still usable with a physical key if needed. It's a tidy deadbolt outwardly, but inside lies a home-level access management system. I included Encode because it solves the small, repetitive problem of who comes in, when, and for how long. You can create codes for family members, temporary codes for guests or cleaners, set expiration schedules, and view activity logs on your phone. Lost keys stop being emergencies. Need to give a delivery person access in a narrow window? Configure it in a few taps. For busy families, access management is more valuable than any flashy mechanical feature. Pluses. Integrated Wi-Fi lets you receive notifications, lock, unlock remotely, and check door status. A backlit keypad is user-friendly at night. Auto-lock features and basic voice assistant integrations are available. Solid metal construction, installs as a replacement for a standard deadbolt on an inward swinging door, no wiring required. Battery life lasts months with low battery alerts. Guests can use codes without an app. Price is mid-range for a hubless smart lock and is affordable relative to full home automation systems. Limits: it relies on batteries. If they drain, you must use the key. Weak Wi-Fi can cause delayed responses or missed notifications. Keypad buttons can show where if you use the same code forever, enable random entry or change codes periodically. Installation requires correct strike depth and alignment. Sagging doors or stiff weather strips can overwork the motor. And despite being smart, Encode is still a deadbolt. It works best when paired with a solid door, sturdy frame, and proper hinges. If SABRE is the pocket alarm and Schlage Encode is the scheduling gatekeeper, Encode keeps orderly access and records. So every code entry is an accounted event, nothing more, nothing less. 10. Security fog system, fog cannon, a visibility cutter that blinds intruders. There are situations where locks, bolts, or alarms aren't fast enough. Someone smashes glass and grabs valuables in a few dozen seconds. Security fog systems are made for that moment. When triggered by intrusion sensors or a panic button, the machine emits a dense fog cloud for several seconds, turning a room into a whiteout where you can't see your hand. Proper fluids are odorless and non-irritating when used correctly. The main effect is to cut sight lines, making theft or targeted grabbing impossible in an instant. I include fog cannons because they buy what most other systems struggle to, interrupting the intruder's action within the first 5 to 10 seconds. It's ideal for shops, warehouses, ground floor offices, or homes in smash and grab zones. When the alarm is triggered, the fog forces intruders to halt, stumble, and often flee empty-handed. Notably, it works even when no one is home, an automated guard that pairs with alarms and cameras. Pluses: instant reaction, effective against fast grab tactics. Can integrate with existing alarm systems. One unit can cover an open plan space if placed well. Many models use certified fluids that leave minimal or no residue. Tanks are sealed and ready for long standby. Some offer burst modes for repeated releases during an incident. Price ranges from moderate to high depending on flow volume and protected area. But compared to losing inventory in a smash and grab, the investment often makes sense. Limits: it's a fixed solution that requires a site survey to avoid blasting occupants or pets in close proximity. After activation, you must ventilate the space and it may temporarily disrupt normal activities. Install correctly to avoid interfering with smoke or fire detectors. Choose compatible equipment and clear programming with the installer. Systems need scheduled maintenance, power backup checks, and fluid replacement. False activations are a nuisance, and because it obscures vision rather than reinforcing structure, it's best used alongside locks, bolts, and safe habits. If Schlage Encode is the schedule-savvy gatekeeper, Security Fog System is the non-lethal smoke grenade. It won't hurt anyone, but it makes the target vanish from sight, turning the quick smash and grab into a hopeless task. 11. Prime Line Woodguard Steel Security Door, a steel core door with a traditional face. Not everyone wants a cold steel door. Prime Line Woodguard answers that by combining a warm front porch look with structural security. Inside, there's a galvanized steel frame. The outside face is clad with composite or natural wood, giving a friendly, classic appearance, while the inner steel core acts as the backbone. Visibly a welcoming door, but armored on the inside. Heavy hinges and multi-point locking help the door resist strong external force, while the steel core is the hidden strength. I chose Prime Line Woodguard because it resolves the common trade-off: wanting security without losing the home feel. Standard steel doors look industrial. This keeps the wooden aesthetic while providing serious protection. For neighborhood homes, street-facing houses, or villas, it's ideal. You get light, you can add glazing or ventilation, but when locked, the inner steel frame acts like armor. The biggest benefits are durability and aesthetic flexibility. Steel frame resists rust, security hinges resist tampering, and the wood face is weather-resistant and UV protected. The exterior cladding can be replaced or refinished without replacing the whole door. Models range from modern to classic and come with noise and weather seals for better insulation. Price typically runs from $400 to $800 depending on size, wood type, and frame options. Limits: it's heavier than a standard wood door, so it needs a strong frame and heavy-duty hinges. Professional install is recommended. The wood face needs periodic upkeep to prevent fading or damage in harsh climates. It's not a smart door. If you want status feedback, you must add sensors. And because it's a whole door unit, shipping and installation are bulky. not ideal for small apartments or secondary doors. If ViewProtect is the invisible bars and ornamental security the decorative shield, Primeline Woodguard is the friendly armored coat. Wood warmth on the outside, steel backbone inside, a balance of comfort and resilience. 12. TASER Pulse, non-lethal self-defense device, a handheld pause maker. TASER Pulse is one of the better-known compact electronic personal defense options. Pocket-sized, marketed to help create a pause with an aggressor by temporarily disrupting their ability to attack. Conceptually, it's a last resort option for extremely urgent situations when passive defenses, locks, bolts, alarms, haven't engaged. The brand and accessories, holster, safety locks, often target personal users. I included TASER Pulse because in some personal security scenarios, the ability to interrupt an attack can reduce immediate risk. But it's crucial to be aware. This device carries risks and limits. Not every environment or person is suitable. Effectiveness varies and misuse can cause serious health consequences to both the user and the target. It's therefore intended for adults who understand local laws and medical considerations. Manufacturers emphasize portability and quick operation for trained adult users and the ability to create a distraction that lets victims escape or seek safety. Some people view this as a final layer after locks, bolts, alarms, and escape routes. However, limitations and warnings must be clear. Laws governing ownership, carrying, and use of electronic control devices differ widely. Many places ban them, require permits, or restrict to security professionals. There are medical risks for people with heart conditions, pregnant people, or if used improperly. Accidental activation or careless use can cause legal trouble or liability for injury. And if you're under the age of majority, access, storage, or use of devices like this is unsafe and often illegal. Rather than encouraging young people to seek tasers, I recommend focusing on nonviolent and legal layers of defense. Reinforce doors and frames, use alarms, like the SABRE door stop wedge, carry a loud personal alarm or flashlight, learn avoidance strategies and basic escape skills in community safety classes, and always tell a trusted adult or authorities if you feel threatened. If you or your family seriously consider high-risk personal defense tools, discuss with parents, guardians, and check local laws and medical advice first. That's the safest lawful route. 13. Wireless driveway motion detector, an eye that notices footsteps on your driveway. When the threat starts outside the property, someone walking up the driveway, a delivery at night, or a car stopping at the gate, an outdoor motion sensor tells you sooner. Wireless driveway motion detectors are battery or rechargeable powered, detect movement across a coverage zone, and send alerts to your phone, alarm center, or trigger lights, aux bells, cameras. They turn your path into a monitored zone so you can decide whether to meet someone or watch from a distance. I included this sensor because it extends situational awareness beyond the house, where doors and bolts can't intervene. Knowing someone just entered the driveway helps you act. Switch on lights, start recording, or call for assistance. For homes with garages, long yards, or driveways near roads, driveway sensors reduce unknowns by turning appearances into actionable info. It's an early warning layer that's cheap compared to human surveillance. Advantages are early sight lines and flexibility. Most wireless models are easy to mount, have ranges from a few meters to several dozen meters, and sensitivity is adjustable to reduce false alarms. Many integrate with cameras to start recording when triggered, or smart floodlights to stun approach paths. Some include person-vehicle pet differentiation to avoid trivial triggers. Batteries can last months to a year depending on activity. Solar-powered options exist for sunny sites. Prices range from low-cost basic models to higher-end feature-rich systems, but compared to the value of early warning, they're affordable. Considerations: outdoor sensors face weather. Choose an IP-rated device and mount in sheltered positions. False alarms still happen from trees, passing cars, glare, or birds. Placement and tuning are key. Coverage limits mean multiple sensors may be needed to remove blind spots. Respect privacy and local laws when linking cameras. The sensor itself is safe, but adding cameras requires thoughtful aiming to avoid public or neighbors' private areas. If SABRE is the whistle and Schlage the gatekeeper who logs entries, wireless driveway motion detector is the watchful eye out front. It doesn't physically stop someone, but it gives you time and information to act. And that's the value of early warning. 14. Blink Outdoor 4. Wireless smart security camera, the never blinking outdoor eye. Amid the many smart home gadgets, Blink Outdoor 4 stands out for one simple reason: it just keeps watching. This wireless security camera is palm-sized, can run for up to 2 years on 2 AA batteries, and is meant to be mounted by the front door, yard corner, or fence line. It records in 1080p by resolution, captures people, cars, and pets day or night with infrared, and is easy to mount, connect to Wi-Fi, and start watching. I included Blink Outdoor 4 because it represents the early detection layer in home security. Unlike locks and bolts, which only matter when an intruder is right at the door, cameras give you proactive visibility: who's coming up the path, who's lingering, and what happened when you were away. With the Blink app, you can view live feed, get motion alerts, and even talk through two-way audio. Where Doorricade and Nightlock hold the door with force, Blink holds peace of mind with information. Big wins are convenience and battery life. 2 AA cells can last up to 24 months, something many other cameras can't boast. Fully wireless, weather-resistant, IP65, it's a good option for renters or people who don't want heavy drilling. Video storage is cloud-based or local with the sync module, and you can expand to multiple cameras to cover the property. At around $100 to $120 a kit, Blink is a budget-friendly option for proactive monitoring. Limitations: it needs stable Wi-Fi. Weak signals make video lag or drop. Cloud storage usually needs a subscription. And live view latency might not suit real-time response. As a battery device, periodic checks are needed to avoid running out. And like all cameras, it doesn't physically stop wrongdoing. It records and alerts so you can make better choices. If driveway motion detector is the early chime, Blink Outdoor 4 is the remembering set of eyes. Quiet, durable, and always watching. So every motion at your front door is not a surprise. 15. Ring Video Doorbell Wired, a doorbell that sees and speaks. Among active protection devices, the Ring Video Doorbell Wired acts like the polite watchman at your threshold. Thumb-sized, it combines a full HD camera, a microphone, and a speaker so you can see and talk to anyone at the door, whether you're at home or hundreds of miles away. When motion is detected or someone rings, your phone gets an instant alert and live video. No guessing who's knocking, no peeking through the peephole. A quick glance at your screen gives you the full picture. I included Ring because it addresses the subtle but common risk: opening the door without knowing who's outside. This device is more than a bell. It's a recognition layer that replaces listen then guess. With motion detection and real-time alerts, it gives you a few critical seconds to observe, decide, or ignore without stepping outside. For older adults, children, or people living alone, that sense of control is invaluable. Strengths are video quality and reliability. 1080p resolution gives a wide field and clear images of a person or package. The mic and speaker let you converse. It connects via Wi-Fi and integrates with Ring or Alexa, supports video review, and lets you define detection zones to cut false alarms. Price for the wired model is typically $60 to $70, inexpensive for most households. Compared to installing larger cameras, it's a compact way to monitor your entry. Limitations: the wired version requires a 16 to 24 volt doorbell transformer. If your home lacks it, professional install may be needed. Long-term video storage usually needs a cloud subscription, and weak Wi-Fi affects responsiveness. The doorbell augments but doesn't replace strong locks or mechanical bolts. It helps you see early, not physically stop entry. Pair it with a solid lock and good outdoor lighting for best results. If Blink Outdoor 4 is broad outdoor coverage, Ring Video Doorbell Wired is the doorstep gaze. Polite, smart, and always ready to answer the question every house should know: who's at the door? No single device will turn a house into an absolute fortress. But when layers of protection stack sensibly, From mechanical bolts and smart locks to sensors and early warnings, you not only increase safety, but regain agency in unexpected situations. The gadgets in this list aren't meant to make you live in fear, they're meant to let you live more comfortably with peace of mind. Security isn't about expensive tech or flashy gear, it's about being proactive, knowing your home's weak points, reinforcing them appropriately, and preparing before something happens. A few well-placed devices plus attentive habits are often enough to turn an ordinary house into a place where malicious intent stops at the threshold.